Hello everyone, this is Setsu. I'm a CEO of Oneness in Love Inc. Thank you so much for being here and watching this video.
Hola, ella es Setsu, la presidenta de Oneness in Love. Gracias por estar aquí y gracias por ver este video.
Yeah, I'd like to introduce my husband first. This is Ronnie, and Ronnie is the...
PhD. I'm a PhD in biochemistry and I'm teaching chemistry. Acá Setsu hoy día les va a presentar primero a mí, que soy Rodney. Tengo un doctorado en bioquímica y enseño química. Soy un profesor y aquí le vamos a presentar a Dolly.
Yes, special guest!
So we are going to introduce Dolly and we are going to introduce al practitioner in natural medicine, Oscar Tuesta. El practicante en medicina natural, Oscar Tuesta.
Yeah, so we have two special guests, like Ronnie introduced. This is Oscar, this is Dolly. They are lovely married couple, and you can learn from them the long, happy marriage life too. And also, they are based on the natural life, which is very healthy life. I'd like you to learn or enjoy our conversation about being the good health.
Como ya hemos dicho, acá tenemos dos invitados, Oscar y Dolly, que están el día de hoy aquí y que llevan una vida natural y también pueden aprender de ellos, que es una pareja felizmente casadas por muchos años. También pueden aprender de eso, pero hoy día vamos a hablar más acerca de vivir más naturalmente.
Okay. Would you like to say something? Can you introduce yourself?
Ya, ¿en español?
En español.
Ya, soy Dolly Babilonia, soy peruana, nací en Perú, radiqué en California por muchos años, ahora estoy retirada con mi querido esposo en Florida.
Yeah, she is Dolly Babilonia. She is originally from Peru and she has several years living here in the United States, in California, but now she's retired and she lives with her husband in Florida.
Ok, en Florida como retirados estamos tratando de vivir una vida más sana, más tranquila y llevar una mejor alimentación.
In Florida, now that they are retired, they are trying to live a better life, a more natural life, and especially taking care of what they eat.
Okay.
Un poco más de ejercicio, que es lo que necesitamos cuando ya estamos con la edad de retirados, ejercicios y sobre todo llevar una vida tranquila.
So especially having a life with more exercises, those types of exercises that is better for people that are already retired, and try to have a peaceful life.
When we gonna have life like that?
So,
Soon. Okay. Okay.
pregunta cuándo no vamos a tener una vida así como la de ellos, así que le digo muy pronto.
Okay.
Es lo que estoy empezando a notar ahora, ¿no? Hemos vivido juntos muchos años y de una u otra manera ella aprendió algo de lo que sabe sobre salud, sobre las comidas, y más bien yo estoy siendo corregido de lo que estoy haciendo porque fácilmente lo hago lo contrario, ¿no?
He says that in all these years that they are living together, actually she was learning a lot about having a good health, about eating good. Oscar studied about that, but he's the first one that most of the times do the opposite thing. He says it's so easy to do the opposite thing, but actually he's corrected by Dolly. that he in all this
Good
time
one.
she learned more than him.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Al principio me costaba, ¿no? Pero después me daba cuenta, pero si yo dije eso antes, yo hablé acerca de eso, pues bueno, pues necesito recordarlo y no olvidarme, ¿no?
Sí.
De qué tengo que hacer.
And whenever she corrected him, he says, "Oh, I just remember that I taught her that. I was teaching that in the past." And now finally he remembered and he realized that he needs to review those things.
Y,
That's why Dory is here. It's important.
Esa es la
He is a
razón.
professional. He knows a lot about the holistic medicine, but she's the one who corrected her or led him to do the right thing. That's why those are special guests. So, I'd like to talk about the to be healthy. I learned from my life that I have a lot of problems since I was little. And first, I had asthma since I was little.
So, she wanna talk, ella quiere hablar acerca de ser saludable. Empezando porque ella siempre tiene un montón de problemas de salud. Empezando cuando era chiquita por el asma.
I was born in Tokyo, in Japan, and since I was a baby, I had a bad asthma. And my mom was told by my doctor that we have to relocate the location where we live.
Ella nació en Tokio, en Japón, pero desde chica tenía muy mal asma, así que el doctor le dijo que tenían que mudarse a otro lugar en Japón.
So my family relocated to the northern place of Japan, which has only beach and beautiful white sand and the beach and hot spring. That was gorgeous, but that's all we had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Así que su familia se tuvo que mudar a otro sitio en el norte de Japón, donde lo único que había eran playas, arenas blancas y baños termales.
Paradise.
Yes, paradise. It was
paraíso.
beautiful, actually. It was beautiful.
Era
I
hermoso.
remember my memory started mostly is every day my grandma, my mother's side, took me to the beach every evening when sunset is starting. So I remember grandma took my hand and we walked to the beach because where we lived in grandparents' house was very close to the beach, like maybe 3 minutes on foot.
Only walking.
So,
Yes.
y lo que más recuerda es que cuando era chiquita, su abuela, de parte de madre, la llevaba a ver el ocaso del sol en todos los atardeceres.
So and also
place,
hot spring. Hot spring is important too.
Y aparte tienen las aguas calientes, aguas
Yes.
termales.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So a lot of people might know that, especially Japanese people, hot spring is good for good health.
Y mucha gente sabe que especialmente para los japoneses las aguas termales son buenos para la salud.
Yes. So today there was a conversation among us about the constipation, and we were going to discuss about how important to eliminate the toxin from our body, right?
Hoy día hemos tenido una conversación acerca del estreñimiento y cuán importante es botar las toxinas.
Yes. So, like I said, I had asthma for a long time, and I went. Like I said, my family was relocated to the northern place in Japan, and it's a very, very beautiful place in nature. Asthma stopped, but at the same time, when I was 13 years old, it changed. Asthma stopped, but it started the psoriasis.
Right, yeah.
So
The
yes,
skin.
skin disease, which is really, really rare at that time. So I had to go to the different doctors, different hospitals. Nobody knew what was it. But later in Tokyo, they found out it was called psoriasis. And yes, that time psoriasis,
Ya. Como ella siempre sufrió de asma, por eso es la razón por la que se tuvo que mudar a este pueblo, pero entonces el asma desapareció. Pero el problema que a los 13 años el asma se volvió una enfermedad a la piel llamada psoriasis.
Yes. So I was in hospital for 2 months for the psoriasis.
Estuve en el hospital como 2 meses por la psoriasis,
And the with the dermatologist.
en el área de dermatología.
Yes, in Tokyo, the
In
very
Tokyo.
famous hospital. But I think even now, it should be described this psoriasis as there is no cure.
Pues, probablemente hasta ahora no hay una cura exacta para la psoriasis.
Yes. So I really struggled. It was like sometimes I wanted to end my life because psoriasis is really bad the whole body.
About the psoriasis, no?
Psoriasis, yeah.
It's about the immune system or is the skin? What is the symptom?
The symptoms is different. Each one know who has, but it's famous because there's it's famous for the what do you call the layers of the skin. It's
Layers.
red. I still have,
Like plaques.
but
Ajá.
it's harder to.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can show. Yes,
I know.
Like
Yeah,
this? It's much better.
it's my
Like this, it's the layers and it gets red, really red when it's bad,
And itchy.
and it's so itchy
Pain?
and
No.
not the
No
pain much, but it bleed a lot.
I can't believe
Itchy,
it.
Yes.
scratch.
Really?
Yes.
When
Itchy,
it says scratch
Yeah, because it's itchy. Even if I'm
itchy,
sleeping,
itchy, yes.
Sí.
yeah,
Ujú.
even if I'm
When you are
sleeping, I
sleeping,
scratch,
you
and
scratch
my
and-
sheets, my pajama,
Wow.
everything become like a.
Ella preguntó cómo en la psoriasis, ella le muestra que son como unas placas que aparecen en la piel. Ahorita está seca, es mucho mejor, pero a veces se pone toda húmeda y roja y pica un montón y cuando se rasca empieza a sangrar.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we are discussing about the being the good health. I can show you, but just I'd like you to know that this is much like 100% better, not 100%, 90% better
90%
than what I had. Because when I was in Japan, where I didn't have the symptom of the skin problem is only face
Your
and
face,
maybe foot. That's all I didn't have. My back, my stomach, my hair, all the arms and the hand and the legs, I had everywhere just.
Ahora lo que muestra es mucho mejor de lo que tenía que cuando estaba en Japón, porque en Japón el único lugar donde no tenía psoriasis era su cara y sus pies. El resto del cuerpo todo estaba lleno de psoriasis.
Yes, I was embarrassed. And in Japan, it's so humid there.
Yes.
And in summer, it's so hot, humid. Like if I go back to Japan now in summertime, I cannot live. I cannot survive there.
Yeah.
It's so humid. And so when it's humid, it's so itchy more. And then, like I said, it bleed all the time. And if it bleed, if you scratch, it's gonna spread more.
En Japón el clima es húmedo. Entonces si ella regresa a Japón y con ese clima húmedo ya no puede estar porque la psoriasis se le pone peor y ahí es donde le empieza a picar y al rascarse empiezan a sangrar.
Yeah. And I realized that when I was in the hospital in Tokyo for 2 months, and the doctor told me that the place I was in staying in the hospital is the same floor, the dermatologist, what should I say, dermatologist, and also for the
¿Lungs?
for the problem with like asthma. Yeah, so what do you call that?
Respiratory.
Respiratorio.
Yeah.
Pulmonary.
Yeah. So 2 different problems for the skin
The skin,
and also
For
the
the lungs.
lungs.
Yeah,
It's
respiratory.
their same floor. because doctor explained to me that because of the it's related. So it proved me that my asthma was
Yes.
not healed. It just changed to the psoriasis skin disease.
So, cuando estaba en el hospital, por esos 2 meses, le explicaron que, bueno, en ese mismo piso estaban dos ramas. Estaba la rama, la dermatología, y estaba la rama donde miran los pulmones y las enfermedades respiratorias. Entonces le explicaron que esas 2 enfermedades están muy unidas, muy relacionadas. Entonces le dijeron que su asma no se curó, sino el asma se volvió psoriasis.
And the hospital gave me the medicines they believed they worked that time.
El hospital en ese tiempo le dio medicinas que creyeron que iba a funcionar.
But the cream, you know, as you might know, what was that? Steroid.
Pero la crema contenía esteroides.
And I learned by myself, I felt I cannot keep using the steroid.
Steroids.
It was the cream, yes.
Y aprendió por ella misma que no puede seguir usando los esteroides.
Yeah, so I stopped by myself
Así que dejó de usarlas.
because it didn't go well. And even if I kept using the cream, the heaviness of the steroid included is more stronger and stronger because it doesn't work when you
Yeah.
keep using. So the
Next step,
amount of the steroid is
More
going to
higher.
be more higher.
Yeah, more
So I learned the way I felt as I was born as psychic, and I think something warned me that I cannot keep using. And I learned later, steroid damage goes to the organ too. And so sometimes asthma use the inhaler, everything, and everything is included the steroid, right?
Steroid.
So, y aprendió por ella misma que los esteroides que le daban en esas cremas no eran buenas para usar porque en vez de aliviaba por el momento, pero luego venía con más potencia. La picazón era más fuerte. Así que como es psíquica también, ella recibió el mensaje que no debería de usar esteroides. Incluso para el asma, porque a veces los inhaladores
Yes.
también tienen esteroides.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm against the steroid itself.
No está diciendo que está en contra de los esteroides,
Yeah, but I know it's not good to keep using it.
pero sabe que no es bueno seguir
And
usándolos.
I'd like you to know that after we moved like last year,
Y después de que nos mudamos el año pasado,
my asthma came back.
su asma regresó.
My husband, Ronnie, took me to the ER.
Y yo la llevé
We had to stay
a
there.
la sala de emergencias.
And I was told this is asthma.
Y ahí le dijeron que era asma.
And that time, my psoriasis was much better.
Y porque el asma regresó,
Yeah.
su psoriasis estaba mucho mejor.
So what doctor gave me is inhaler with steroid.
Lo que el doctor le dio son
Actually, it
inhaladores
helped me to breathe.
que le ayudó para respirar.
So I'm not saying do not use the steroid.
Por eso no está diciendo que no lo use,
Some people need
porque a veces
Yeah.
son necesarios.
but don't depend on long time.
Pero no dependan de ellos o no lo usen por mucho tiempo,
Por mucho.
por un tiempo prolongado.
Yeah. So we hope that we don't need to depend on the medicine.
Así que deseamos no depender de las medicinas.
Yeah, but medicine is from nature, right?
There are 2 types of medicine. The one that comes from plants and the one that human made.
The
Like
chemical.
aspirin. Aspirin is a medicine that human made.
Yeah.
But there are others that you can get it from the plants, from
Mi situación o la situación es que la mayoría de las medicinas están hechas a partir del petróleo. No son a partir de las plantas.
The thing is, Oscar says that most of the medicines are oil or petrol based.
Petroleum based.
Yeah, they don't come from plants. They come from oil or petrol.
Yeah, for that situation, it's not natural. it's not give you the creation in part of our life. Están hechas de petróleo. Se seleccionó las sustancias químicas que funcionan, pero como que no tienen alma.
So la mayoría de la most of the medicine come from petrol. They don't come from natural products. And it's like they were looking for which medicine is good, but the problem is they might work, but it's like something with no soul.
Yeah, the plants
It's
have a
chemical.
real soul.
Yeah, the
Oh, I
plants,
love that.
Yeah,
the
everything that
plant-
comes from the plants on something that is alive.
Plants has alive
plants with
and the plants
soul.
is
Yeah.
from nature.
Soul, right? Soul or soul?
Oscar said that plants has soul.
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
that's so beautiful.
But the ones that are human-made, from petrol, from oil-based, they don't have
Doesn't
soul.
All base,
have
yeah.
soul.
La idea no es de que estamos yendo contra la medicina, ¿no? Porque en algunos momentos se necesita, pero como se habló en antes, momentáneamente. Si te falta vitamina C y no tienes dónde encontrarlo, pues bueno, hay que recurrir a lo que hay a la mano, ¿no?
Oscar says that we are not going against the medicine. We are not saying that they are bad. Actually, we might need them, but as we were talking, we need them for the moment.
For the moment.
But we shouldn't depend on them. We shouldn't use them like every day. So
Yes.
the moment that you need it, that she has the asthma, and then she struggled to breathe, then the inhaler.
We need it for the
works.
emergency.
But we shouldn't depend on those things. Mhm.
Yeah. So the taking medicine sometimes we need it. We really need it.
Es necesario.
Yes.
Es necesario.
But sometimes we can choose daily life, right?
Yeah.
And it should be very natural way. So without depending on the medicine itself, there is a way we can be good health, right? Can you teach us what kind of things we can choose to be healthy?
So tomar la medicina es buena, pero no hay que depender de ellas. Así que lo que vamos a hacer es ahora a ver si nos pueden enseñar a cómo vamos a vivir más natural.